Hello and welcome. You're watching News Central Television. I am Judith at TV. It's time for News Central now, and here are the top stories at this hour. Fuel tanker explosion on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway disrupts traffic. Appeal court strikes out Senate President's motions, imposes 100,000 naira fine over Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduaha's suspension. And at least 49 killed as floods sweep through South Africa's Eastern Cape province. Details shortly. Let's begin in Lagos, where a tanker laden with petroleum product has fallen and exploded on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The Ogun State Sector Commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps confirmed the incident on Wednesday. The FRSC said that the incident occurred at the NASFAT U-turn section of the highway. The education officer of the sector command, Florence Okpa, said that a rescue team from the FRSC and the fire service were on the ground but could not confirm any casualties. The explosion also affected some vehicles close to the fallen tanker. Also confirming the incident, the Ogun State Traffic Compliance and Enforcement Agency, TRACE, said the explosion occurred on the lane of the expressway outboard Lagos, leading to traffic congestion. And now to judicial matters. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has struck out two interlocutory motions filed by Senate President Godswill Akpabio in the ongoing case challenging the 6-month suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduaha, who represents Kogi Central. In a unanimous decision delivered by a 3-member panel led by Justice Haman Barka, the court dismissed the motions after they were withdrawn by the appellate. A cost of 100,000 naira was awarded against Akpabio, listed as respondents in the appeal as Senator Akpoti-Oduaha, the Clerk of the National Assembly, the Senate, and Senator Neda Imasua, Chairman of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petitions. In the meantime, reactions have trailed plan by the National Assembly to initiate a bill, to ensure that presidents-elect are sworn in the arcade of the National Assembly. The leader of the Senate, Mabuyane Bamidele, had made this disclosure while responding to questions on the June 12 anniversary in Abuja. Bamidele said that the legislation was part of efforts to strengthen the country's democracy. He said that the parliament would also initiate another legislation for the president to deliver the State of the Nation address in the National Assembly on June 12th annually. The National Assembly has invited President Bola Tinubu to address a joint session of the Senate and the House of Representatives on Thursday to mark the 2025 National Democracy Day. Joining us to discuss this is legal practitioner and public affairs analyst Taiwo Ojumo. Taiwo, thanks so much for joining us. I mean, how does the NAS proposal to swear in presidents within the chamber align with the provisions of the Nigerian Constitution? Are there legal limitations or procedural conflicts?
Well, thank you very much. Firstly, I must say that sometimes I like to think Nigeria is a theater of the absurd. By that I mean we seem to prioritize things that are not very important. We seem to major on minor things and minor on major things. Now, of all things important, of all things expedient, of all things urgent, this proposed bill is what the National Assembly thinks they should be coming up with. Now, if you ask me, should it matter where the president-elect is sworn in? You know, for instance, if I was hungry now, or if I'm thirsty and I demand for a bottle of soda, for me, what matters at that point is the content in that bottle of soda, not the soda itself. I mean, not the bottle itself, the content. So for me, should it really matter where the president is sworn in? There are plethora of more important things that our leaders in National Assembly can preoccupy their time with. For me, now, speaking on the question of whether it conflicts with any provision of the Constitution or of any known law, traditionally speaking, where the president-elect has been, is sworn in, has always been the Eagle Square. So, what is wrong with continuing in that tradition? Now, the Senate leader, Bamidele, did say that one of the benefits is to entrench democracy. Now, I stand to be corrected. I want to understand exactly what that means. Democracy in what sense? In what sense? how in God's name with that entrenched democracy? There are 1,001 other things, other bills, that can be proposed that can bring about meaningful and productive change, not proposing to change the venue of the swearing-in of a president-elect. It doesn't matter where it is done. Even if it is done somewhere in the corner of in the rural areas of Abuja, what matters is it is done in line with the constitution. So me, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't be an issue of public discourse, if you ask me.
I mean,
but that's my opinion once again.
I'm certain that a lot of Nigerians, they also share the same sentiments and opinion as you. But let's just stick to the script, shall we? In terms of roles and separations of powers, how does separation of powers play in the debate over moving the presidential swearing-in ceremony to the legislative chambers? Could this shift imply legislative overreach?
Yes, I agree with you that as much as the primary function, one of the primary functions of the legislative arm of government is to perform oversight function and check and create some sort of check and balance on the powers, which sometimes could lead to excesses on the part of the executive. I think that trying to bring, trying to make, to change the venue and bring the venue of the inauguration of the swearing of the president-elect to the premises of NAS, of National Assembly, appears to be an overreaching, if you ask me. That's not the primary function. There are other ways the National Assembly can vet the excesses or can check and balance some of the powers of the executive. Bringing that to me is overreaching. I mean, I don't see anything to justify that. I've been thinking of what can justify that. I don't understand. It is too less important. What is the importance of that? That is the question that keeps coming to mind for me.
Right. And one of the things about one thing that I think we should draw attention to in terms of importance is inclusivity and openness of such ceremony. I mean, would such a proposal affect the inclusivity of it or the openness of the ceremony, given the limited public access to legislative premises that we have in Nigeria?
One of the major arguments in favor of that proposed bill is that it is believed that since the National Assembly is a conglomerate of different people representing different parts of the country, and that somehow it will not. I mean, that people, that almost every Nigerian will be represented in that house, because somehow the National Assembly is composed of representatives of Nigerians across the country, and so the argument is that the issue of people being denied of the opportunity of witnessing the events is cancelled. But like I said again, for me, it amounts to overreaching on the powers on the executive. The National Assembly, our leaders should major on the major things and stop majoring on minor things. Of all, like I said earlier, of all things important and expedient, that should not be what we should be discussing at this moment. There are 1,001 bills that can be proposed that can bring about meaningful and productive change. Yeah, thank you.
All right. I know one thing for certain. They should focus on education and decentralizing security for the sake of Plateau and Benue. And it makes you wonder, what precedents this would set for what this proposal would set in terms of precedents for elected offices, such as, on the state level, whether it's governors, local government chairmen, or councillors. But Taiwo, this is all we can take at this time. I want to say thank you, Taiwo Jumo, legal practitioner and public affairs analyst. We switch gears now to more here on the presidency. Now, it's been 2 years since the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly, and while several reforms and structural improvements have been made, the period has also witnessed a significant shift of a wave of defections, mostly from opposition parties to the ruling party. As concerns are raised about its implications for Nigeria's democracy, our correspondent Idong Joseph takes a closer look at the numbers and thoughts of lawmakers. Take a look.
Since its inauguration on the 13th of June 2023, the 10th National Assembly has witnessed significant changes, including the relocation of plenary sessions from a temporary site to its newly renovated main chambers, the passage of critical legislations, and defections of several lawmakers to other parties. This wave of defections, which hit opposition parties within the first 2 years of the assembly, saw opposition parties in the Senate lose 9 seats and about 32 in the House of Representatives. The opposition parties in Nigeria's parliament initially held a majority in the House of Representatives with 182 members to the ruling party's 178 and 50 in the Senate to the APC's 59. However, within 24 months, following a wave of defections, the number have changed drastically, prompting criticism and concerns from opposition leaders about the method and implications of these defections.
The PDP is a law-abiding institution organization, and so the Court of Appeal made a pronouncement on the secretaryship of the party, and the party is adhering to that Court of Appeal decision until it is otherwise ruled.
The time has come for us to also look at our constitutional provision on defection, and as part of our responsibilities, cause an amendment to it.
The People's Democratic Party, which has been the hardest hit, has lost 6 seats in the Senate and 18 in the House of Representatives, while the Labour Party has lost 9 seats in the House and 3 in the Senate. The New Nigeria People's Party has lost 3 in the House and 1 in the Senate, while the African Democratic Congress lost 1 in the House, and the Young Progressive Party has also lost 1 seat, each from both chambers. These changes have sparked accusations against the ruling APC, with claims of using state influence to lure opposition members.
The ruling party is using all the institutions of government to coerce people, force people, to move, and yet they are saying they are not the one, doing it. It's a lie. Our elections are not credible. If people are confident, that the people's vote, will count, people will not be jumping from one party to another party.
While the opposition accuses the APC of suppressing dissenting voices, the ruling party argues that the defections reflects confidence in government's performance and a growing alignment with its policies.
The ruling party people, they are too many, and they are not giving room, to oppositions, to talk.
When there's progress in the sense that the economy is beginning to thrive, things are beginning to work, we're paying up our debts, we're credit-worthy and all that, it's a good sign of democracy. So I think for me, I think it's a welcome development, and we're still hoping for more of them.
Despite being the hardest hit, the PDP gains 2 new members in the House of Representatives, while the All Progressive Grant Alliance also gains 1 member. Meanwhile, ABGA and the Social Democratic Party have retained all their members in both chambers. And as concerns linger over what the future holds, available signs suggest that more defections to the ruling APC may be imminent. In Abuja for News Central, Idong Joseph.
The community cries out as road access collapses. We'll tell you all about this after the break. Stay with us. And welcome back. It's off to River State, where the sole administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibok Ete-Bass, has said the proposed 1.48 trillion naira 2025 budget anticipates the return of suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara and other affected political office holders. Ibas made this known in Abuja on Wednesday while defending the budget before the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on River State Oversight. According to him, the proposed budget aligns with strategic objectives of the River State Development Plan 2017 to 2024. He also noted that the proposal presents a strategic and integrated framework designed to raise revenues and accelerate infrastructure development, enhance human capital, and promote inclusive economic growth across all sectors.
The 2025 budget was particularly designed to account for and regularize expenditures already undertaken during the first quarter of the fiscal year by the suspended administration before the state of emergency declaration by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu this year. Regrettably, Some state officials withheld critical information required to ensure a more complete capture of those expenditures at the time of submission of the budget estimates. However, recognizing the exigencies under the state emergency and the need to ensure fiscal credibility, the budget framework integrates expenditure information made available before the submission of the budget proposal to ratify the first quarter expenditures within a lawful and transparent structure. This ensures alignment with statutory appropriation protocols while safeguarding the integrity of public finance management. Additionally, in anticipation of the eventual return to constitutional order, the draft budget prudently retains provisions for the offices and functions of suspended political actors, some of whom have already drawn on allocated resources in the first quarter and are expected to resume their duties at the expiration of the emergency period.
Former Director of Public Affairs at the defunct National Electoral Commission, Tony Iridia, has cautioned against political defections, stating that votes belong to political parties and not individual candidates. Speaking at the first annual lecture series of the National Association of Political Correspondents in Abuja, Iridia stressed that Nigeria's constitution recognizes political parties as legal owners of electoral mandates. He emphasized that the trend of politicians switching parties and attempting to carry electoral mandates with them is legally and morally wrong, calling for national consensus to curb the practice.
No, I think it's very simple. What I'm saying is that the Nigerian constitution recognizes that it is political parties who win elections. And if political parties are the owners of votes, the candidates cannot take those votes away. So when somebody defects from one party to the other and is going away with the votes of the previous party to a new one, what he's doing is certainly not correct. And whatever we must do as a nation to stop it is important.
Is defection not in the constitution, sir?
It is there, but not in the executive. The defection is in the for the legislator. And it says that you can defect when your party has a division.
Okay, so what recommendation would you make as appropriate punishment for people who defect?
No, I think we should separate it. First and foremost, if they are legislators, the laws are already there. If they are executives, I have been suggesting for a very long time that the judiciary should say that that defection is nullified. The man goes back to office if he wants to be governor. If he does not want to be governor, he waits until that term has ended. Then he goes to the new party that he now likes and contests election and win. It's not good to carry away the votes of other people.
It's back here to Lagos, where a traffic incident where a tanker that is laden with petroleum products has fallen and exploded on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Joining us now for a live update and situational report is our correspondent, Chamon Dabeng, and she joins us live now. Chamon, please tell us what's the update and what's the latest?
We are at the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway at the moment, and from what we can see, there was a tanker explosion. The tanker has fallen down and has basically dragged in about 2 or 3 different trucks into the matter. They're all on fire. There's an active fire going on right now as we speak. And so far, it has caused a lot of traffic leading up to the point where we are now. And you have cars on the other side that are trying to bypass the current traffic, driving against incoming cars, which of course can cause a problem by itself. You know, it could lead to so many different things. It won't end well at all. But anyway, we have someone here who's going to be giving us a detailed account of what is going on. Please come. All right, sir, please could you tell us your name?
My name is Lukman Adetujanla.
All right, can you tell us what exactly happened? Were you here at the beginning of the incident?
It's getting too much for this road, for this to go church. It cannot happen for this Lagos church. Okay? So something happened like 3 hours. I don't know. So why? It's too much. It's too much. Money don't go far away. Somebody don't die here. People die. I go. It's not good. our governor, please, I beg, please, try. We have water this thing for Ibafu. We have for Mabuyane. Why they don't come quickly before this thing happen? It's too much.
All right, so from the gist that we got, this fire started around 3 o'clock this afternoon. In fact, it started before 3 o'clock this afternoon and has been ongoing since then. So far, fire service from Lagos State has come in to try to, sort of manage the fire. There is a fire truck up front, a couple of them, about 2 fire trucks up front, trying to manage the situation as well, but it's still going on. So people are standing around trying to figure out what is happening, and, from what had said, it's been going on for too long. There are so many trucks carrying perishables. There are trucks carrying more fuel and gas just coming up front, and still the fire is still active.
Fire is still active. Chairman, many thanks there. We appreciate you, Chairman Debeng there, our correspondent live at the scene of a fuel tanker explosion that went off on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. We switch gears now to Abia State, where the people of Ohabiri, Umuchime, Na Amonso autonomous community are now facing what may be their worst fears in erosion menace following the total collapse of their major access route to the villages. The village has also, for the umpteenth time, called on the government to come to their aid in order to save the lives and property of their people. The traditional ruler, Eze Iheanaya Chukwu Izigbo, has also beckoned on the ancestors to save the community.
I felt so bad when I behold this my co-wife. See her there. She's the owner of this house. She's my co-wife and she's the owner of this house. The sincere truth about this matter is we, the women, are so much affected by this menace that this erosion has caused. Our children cannot cross here, like the men have said, to access their school. So also our farm work. Please, my knees are on the ground, please. Whosoever is concerned, whether the federal government or Abia State government, I plead that you people will show us mercy. Please, you people should show us mercy. Because Gary is so expensive and we cannot access our farms. Please, we need help. Urgent help for that matter.
A group of young people in Plateau State wants the federal government to urgently address the ongoing violent killings in parts of the state. Unknown gunmen have killed more than 1,000 since 2023, while at least 30,000 people have been displaced by the violence, according to Amnesty International. News Central's correspondent Chizoba Anyonwe reports.
The Plateau Youth Council in Riom local government area says the resurgence of these killings within the council, which they say are unprovoked, now leave the locals in fear and untold suffering.
The marauding activities of these armed militias have continued to dispersing indigenous communities of their heritage and means of survival, and displacing several more thousands of our people into life of destitute and uncertainty. However, it should be noted that our patience, rooted in our belief in justice and rule of law, has been stretched to its absolute limit.
While commending efforts of key state actors at containing the attacks, they urge them to be more responsive.
While we acknowledge and appreciate the effort of security agencies and government at all levels, local, state, and federal, in curbing these attacks, it is imperative to state unequivocally that such effort, however commendable, cannot be seen as enough. The people of Riom have exhibited extraordinary patience. This patience, however, should not be mistaken for weakness, apathy, or an invitation for further aggression.
Meanwhile, media officer of Operation Safe Haven, Major Samson Zakom, says his men are leaving no stone unturned in ensuring the safety of both lives and property in the state.
In the last few days, some attackers have been arrested. Some have been neutralized through intelligence-based operation. Our troops are not relenting in keeping both the hinterland and the metropolis safe. Troops have been strategically deployed and are constantly embarking on both foot and vehicular patrols to deny this miscreant freedom of action.
With agitations in some quarters for more results from the security agencies, government at all levels are also urged to wade in to save the state from further chaos. In Plateau State, for News Central, Chizoba Anyui.
And now to infrastructure. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Wednesday inaugurated 8 roads in the Katampa area of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Wednesday's program was day 2 of 17 in a marathon inauguration of infrastructural projects undertaken by the Federal Ministry of the FCT under the leadership of Nyesom Wike. Scheduled to run between June 10th and July 3rd, the projects are lined up as part of the FCT's ministry's efforts at commemorating the 2nd anniversary of President Bola Tinubu's first 4-year term.
No contractor would take that risk. And that is why we believe that if contractor companies know that the government they are dealing with, they will be paid. They will go about doing their work. As I speak to you now, companies, contractors are competing among themselves. Just let them award the job. Most of them have gone without even giving them the initial mobilization. That is confidence building, and that's what you've created. And I want to thank the management of SCGC. No one contract that you are awarded under the FCT would be abandoned. By the time you do your 3rd year in office next year, you will see that virtually all the contracts you are awarded under you as the president, as the chairman of the Federal Council, will all have finished them to the glory of God.
To the glory of God, I declare this road commissioned and the benefit of humanity. May God bless Abuja Capital Territory, bless Nigeria, and keep our troops safe. Thank you very much.
And we switch gears back to the capital, or rather back to Lagos here. Following the fuel tanker explosion on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, we have our correspondent Chamon Debeng, who is live at the scene of the explosion/accident/fire. Chamon, what's the latest?
All right, so we're standing right in front of the incident where the tanker has actually fallen. And since its fall, it has taken out about 2 other tankers that were very close to it. So far, the incident has been traffic leading up until this point. We have bypassers on the other side of the road trying to, bypass the traffic that's going on. Oh, Lord. That's trying to bypass the traffic that's going on, and that in itself can cause another problem. So we're going to be speaking to an individual here. His name is Mr. Abe. He's going to be talking to us and giving us a detailed account of what actually happened and what led up to this very moment. Good evening, Mr. Abe. Could you tell us what happened? What caused this accident?
This accident, the one of car is you want to overtake the trailer, make it cause the accident, but the trailer want to jack himself for him, make no hit the car. That's the car come bring in hand, go to the dark complex, it come fall.
So how long has this fire been going on?
As you fall down, now the lights come outside.
So how long has this fire been going on? How long? How long? Since what time? What time did it happen?
It's around to 4. You don't go far, but the fuel to go far for the back.
Have there been any casualties? Anybody has died? Anybody injured?
No.
None so far. All right. Thank you very much. Well, there you have it. Fortunately for us, there's been no casualty, there's been no death toll so far. But we do have 2 fire trucks here trying to manage the situation so far. But of course, you can still see that the fire is still going on at the moment. There's still heavy traffic. We have other gas tankers, fuel tankers, all leading up to this point where the fire is still raging. Even trucks carrying livestock, all of that has been put on delay.
Chairman, we want to say thank you. We'll come back to you for more updates. Chairman Dabeng, our correspondent, live from the scene of the fuel tanker explosion on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Switch gears now to Edo State, where a major boost is coming to the state's transportation sector and is about to get a major boost from the announcement that the new Edo Line Nigeria Limited will begin full operations on June 27, 2025. Governor Monday Okpebholo made the announcement during an inspection of ongoing infrastructure projects in Edo South, including a visit to the state transport terminal. The governor expressed satisfaction with preparations, noting that the vehicles are ready and the facilities near completion.
To look at what is going on in the new proposed Edo Line station, because the vehicles are ready, everything is set. We're trying to see how we can commence. The idea is for me to come and look at what they have done in preparation of our commencement. So that is the reason why this visit this morning.
State terminal for the new Edo Line Nigeria Limited. And by the special grace of God, on the 27th of June this year, we are commencing operation properly. The projects that are ongoing here, by next week, Friday, we are rounding up those projects. The canopy trucks, the partitioning, the CCTV, the control room that are here.
In the meantime, Governor Okpebholo has called for accelerated work on key infrastructure projects during an inspection tour around the state. At Sepele Road, a major federal route linking Edo and Delta states, the governor urged contractors to ease traffic congestion by speeding up construction. According to the governor, delivering on his mandate of a better state for residents is his only goal. Speaking also, Lee O-Fu, who's the CEO of CBC Group handling the project, assured that critical sections would be completed within 2 weeks. Let's go on a short break, shall we? When we return, or better yet, coming up, the state in the Shuzi Miuwa murder trial unveils new evidence. We'll tell you all about this shortly. Hey, welcome back. The state in the Senzo Miiwa murder trial has unveiled a new evidence, including photos that have never been seen before. According to the state prosecutor advocate, these photos are linked to accused number 3, who is represented by advocate Charles Nisi. Meanwhile, Judge Aretha ruled in favor of the state to introduce additional photographic evidence. However, despite his ruling, the defense counsel expressed frustration. It alleges that the state was reckless for not bringing the photos and the evidence in chief. Now, to discuss this further, we're joined by legal expert at the Law Clinic, University of Johannesburg, Elton Hart. Elton, thanks so much for joining us. I mean, how does the introduction of these new photos impact the overall case and the defense's strategy?
Now, I think if you look at what the state is trying to do is to actually create further circumstantial evidence to support the narrative that they're trying to paint to the court. Because clearly it is evident that certain crucial photos, the metadata is not available. And it's clear from the defense versions that these photos were taken in 2018 and 2020 respectively. Now, the state is trying to paint the picture that these photos was taken in 2014 on 26 October when Senzo Miiwa was killed. But I already can sense that there is discrepancies in these photos and also dealing with the authenticity and the genuineness of these photos. But also, I could see that the judge in this case is more open when the state makes these funny types of requests to introduce additional evidence. If the defense is coming with such a request, then he's quickly to chastise them and overrule them, but he's more forthcoming when the state makes requests. And I think this is some of the things that the state will argue at a later stage. And I think if a ruling is found, or it's ruled in against the accused person, they will take this on appeal.
And what are the legal procedures and standards for introducing new evidence at this stage of the trial?
Firstly, to introduce evidence, you need to show that it's relevant to the issue at hand. And once you show that it's relevant, you need to show that this evidence is admissible, which means it should not violate the accused person's fair trial rights. And thereafter, the court needs to now look at the genuineness and the authenticity of these photos. So that is, and they have to bring an application to show that they were not aware that this evidence exists, because it's in exceptional circumstances that the court allows this. If you had these photos from the onset and you willfully chose not to disclose them, which I think is what happened here in this case of the state, they had the phones, they had the downloads, they had everything, and they deliberately did not, or they opted not to disclose them. And for me, the judge was supposed to not allow them, but he allowed them now to bring those photos in. And this is going to be prejudicial to a certain extent, because now the accused needs to show that these photos were taken on a different date. It places an extra burden on them. And I think that was not fair. The judge should have told the state that you had your shot to introduce your evidence. You did not, unless you're going to call another witness that can testify and bring in who has not yet testified.
And given that Judge Mthatha has ruled in favor of the state to admit the photographs, what are the implications if the defense feels the evidence was introduced recklessly or inappropriately?
They can, at the end of the case, to say that the court should actually exclude and ignore this evidence based on the reasons I mentioned, to say that the state had an opportunity, they did not show, and they chose. They cannot now be allowed a backdoor to actually sneak in additional evidence after they've heard what is the defense narrative or position pertaining to certain evidence that was already put against them. Now they're trying to actually sort of half cover the openings that they left open, that the defense actually explored, to say this is why we say we did not commit this offense. So here it was now, they were given a second chance to actually remedy the mistakes that they made in their first attempt when they called these witnesses.
Well, we will just continue. All eyes are definitely on the case as we see how this unfolds. And many thanks for doing this with us, Elton Hart. He is a legal expert at the Law Clinic, University of Johannesburg. Once again, thank you. Still staying in South Africa, at least 49 people have been killed in the floods that have swept through South Africa's Eastern Cape province as low temperatures, torrential rain and heavy snowfall have hit parts of the country. Among the bodies recovered are those of 4 children, a driver and a conductor who were on a school bus that was carried away in floodwaters as it was crossing a bridge in the town of Mthatha on Tuesday morning. Mabuyane, who said that the rescue efforts were continuing to find 4 more children who had been in the vehicle that has since been found on a riverbank with no one inside. Earlier, an official said that 8 bodies, including that of the bus driver, had been found. Let's go on a short break, shall we? When we come back, there's more. Stay with us. And you're welcome back. Zambian citizens living in South Africa have held a memorial service at the Roman Catholic Church in Pretoria for Zambia's former president, Edgar Lungu. He passed away in Pretoria, South Africa, while undergoing treatment for a recurring health condition. The Zambian government has declared a period of national mourning, ordering all flags to be flown at past until 14th of June. Entertainment activities have also been suspended in honor of the late. The former president served as Zambia's president from 2015 to 2021 before being succeeded by the current president. News Center's Bongani Ziziba has the latest.
Families, friends, Zambians and delegates came together to celebrate the life and legacy of a man who dedicated his life to Zambia's progress, leadership and unity. They shared stories and memories, speaking passionately about former President Lungu's service to his country, his unwavering commitment to his people, and the love he inspired among all who knew him.
He was a rare kind of leader. Thou he moved among Africa's political elite. He never lost touch with people. He was grounded, approachable, and deeply human. Ordinary Zambians saw themselves in him, and he in turn saw and valued them.
For everyone, this gathering is more than a farewell. It is a befitting tribute to a man who meant so much to his family, his nation, and friends across borders.
We're so broken and we didn't expect this news. He was a great leader for the Zambian people.
But he has brought Zambians together and he has developed Zambia. None of them has done what he has done for the past president. He has really done what a leader is supposed to do.
Yet, as they honor his memory, questions linger. Will former President Lungu receive a state funeral befitting his stature? There is a debate, his party and family advocating a private funeral as per his wishes, while others believe his service to Zambia warrants a national acknowledgement.
I beg, let his wish be respected. And who else knows his wish except his dear wife? Why struggle? What is the struggle for? Let go of your anger. And God, please tell us what sin Edgar Lungu committed to deserve what he went through. And for him, even in his death, to go through what is happening.
The government this time, they should not even come close. Yeah, they should just keep the very same distance which they kept when he was sick. That is the distance we want. And then that 7 days of mourning the former head of states is not enough.
Song, music and dance to remember a leader who left an indelible mark on Zambia and its people. In Pretoria, for News Central, Bongani Siziba.
May the former president rest in peace. And that's all we can take at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. A fuel tanker explosion on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway has disrupted traffic. Appeal Court has struck out Senate President's motions, imposed 100,000 naira fine over Senator Natasha Akpotudwaha's suspension. And we also told you that at least 49 people have been killed as floods sweep through South Africa's Eastern Cape province. Now, do remember they can send us your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number now showing on the screen. And while you're at it, make sure to follow us on social media. We're at News Central TV on all social media platforms. You can always watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23. We're also on Star Times channel 274. Download Avo TV on your smart TV, and you can watch us live on Avo TV and also live on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Judith at TV. Bye.